Hi there, I'm Karen Roby with Tech Republic and ZDNet. And Steve Ranger with ZDNet is with us today. He's been examining the health of the internet, and it doesn't sound like, Steve, doesn't sound like the prognosis is good. Let's just start off the top with what prompted this research?
Sure, okay. So this is some research from Mozilla, the browser maker. They do this research every year, looking at the sort of the general health of the internet. And they don't usually come up with a kind of a big yes or no. They usually come up with a kind of a series of questions. And basically, they think it's quite complicated. That in some respects the internet's quite healthy, in some respects it's not. I mean, we're not talking about the pipes and the underlying infrastructure. We're talking about the experience of what it's like to be on the internet, whether being on the internet is a good thing for us as individuals, whether it's a kind of a positive experience or a negative one.
And, Steve, it seems a lot of us, I know just from my own, time on the internet, we're always a little scared about privacy and security, and certainly businesses, big corporations are concerned about this, and governments for that matter. So how does security, privacy, how does all of that play into the health of the internet?
Yeah, sure. I mean, actually, from the Mozilla report, actually, some of the positives are that we are all more aware of privacy these days, that we realize that when we're doing things online or when we're using apps, we are being tracked, and that actually we are starting to push back a little bit and say that we do want more privacy when using the internet. The report also says that artificial intelligence is maybe getting a little bit more responsible. So companies are thinking about the ethics of the things they do with artificial intelligence, which is a good thing. And also there's this general kind of pushback against big tech, the big technology companies that rule our lives by providing the hardware, the software, pretty much everything that we do online. And of course, we're all increasingly doing everything online. So there's an increasing awareness that these companies are a big deal, and there is a bit of a pushback there. So in some respects, the report has some positives to it.
Yeah, and it's hard to think of anything that we don't do online. We basically use the internet for everything these days. So what's to come? What do they expect, and what can be done to make it more healthy, a better experience for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, although there are quite a few positives, there are some negatives they point out as well, which is that, increasingly we are seeing a lot of internet censorship. We are seeing the abuse of new technologies like biometrics to track people, because it's very, very easy to track someone once you've got a fingerprint or an iris scan, or you can recognize their gait when they're walking down the street on CCTV. So, those are the kind of worries that we have ahead of us, that there are new technologies out there that can be used against us. And although, as I said, that there are some positive aspects in terms of looking at the ethics of AI, there are a lot of worrying developments with artificial intelligence as well, because we know that what comes out the other end of the algorithm very much depends on what we put in. And if we put in biases, whether those are conscious, deliberate biases, or even unconscious ones, then the decisions that get made at the other end by an algorithm, which might have big implications for our health, or whether we go to prison or not, whether we end up in jail, or whether we get the health treatment we think we ought to have. Those are the kind of big decisions that increasingly AI will be involved with. So if we don't put in the right ingredients at the start, then we get bad answers out at the end. So those are the kinds of things that we've got to watch out for. I think really it's kind of like incumbent on us as users of the internet to just make more of an effort to actually push back, to not just be kind of happy consumers and passive consumers, but where we see things that are going wrong, if we see an app that abuses our privacy, or we see a kind of a new piece of technology that we think is pushing a boundary we're not comfortable with, then I think we do need to push back on it ourselves. I think if we don't do that, then no one else will. So I think that the kind of the summary is that there are some positive aspects in terms of the health of the internet. Some things are getting better, but others are getting a lot worse. And I think we have to be aware that if we don't help to make things better, they will get worse, because there are lots of vested interests out there that like the internet being ill. They like the internet being kind of a bit broken, because that means they can either make more profit, or they can surveil their citizens more effectively, all that kind of stuff. So we absolutely have to, as kind of citizens in the internet, push back where we can and try and make the internet a better and healthier place.
All right, Steve. Well, certainly with the good, we have to take the bad that comes with things too. So we appreciate your help on this. And for Steve's full article and all of the research behind it, you can find it at ZDNet.